Good morning. As you know, my name is Samantha Yates. I'm the Secretary General of the Global Water Leaders Group, and we're a non-profit organisation with members in around 100 countries, and our aim is to create a better story for water and wastewater, particularly focusing on helping utilities and to empower them to drive innovation and performance. I'd like to speak to you today a little bit about the water waste energy nexus. Wastewater is a particular favourite of mine in terms of innovative energy production. People normally look at me a bit strangely when I say that, but it's for a couple of reasons. Firstly, because it allows utilities and cities to completely close the loop on their operations, and secondly, because, naturally, the production of wastewater is always in proportion to the local community. So today I'm going to quickly set the scene for water and energy in the Middle East, and then some case studies. These are not comprehensive in terms of what is happening in the region, but just to give you a flavour of what can be done for municipal prosperity, for wastewater energy production, and then a few global case studies to add to that texture of information, and then lessons for wider application. So as we know, MENA is the most water-scarce region in the world, but it's also experiencing its worst drought in history. There are also demand pressures as well as supply. It has 355 million people, according to the World Bank, and this is growing. It actually has the second highest population growth rate in the world after sub-Saharan Africa. Also, it's a big energy user. It uses 44% of the world's daily desalinated water, which is energy intensive. We know that one of the biggest costs for water management is energy, and around 7 to 10% of the world's carbon emissions are generated by water treatment and management. So it's time for greater circular thinking on how to embrace the water and energy nexus. There are indicative examples for beneficial wastewater reuse in MENA, and there are additional opportunities that are emerging from the rest of the world, which allow us to think about the energy potential, but also beyond that. So, for example, we have direct energy production in the form of biogas, but also indirectly in the form of more efficient water reuse and for traditional energy extraction. Municipal millionaires, I really like this term. Most of the case studies in this presentation are demonstrative of utilities that are earning at least $1 million in additional revenue just from employing anaerobic digestion technologies, many of which include energy production. We know that waste is fast becoming the most productive form of value, and it's often in the energy form. The water waste energy nexus is well known, but how can utilities really build a business case and create real value? There are different types of value, but what products can be developed and who are the customers? For the technology suppliers, what is the customer's view of value? When considering value from the wastewater nexus, there are many benefits than energy, and this I see as an opportunity to think beyond that to a greater beneficiary for cities around the world. So we've already heard a little bit today from Dr. Rashid himself about the triple bottom line. And in this presentation, I'm using similar but slightly different words. So maximizing social, environmental, and financial benefits. So social in this case could be enhancing urban livability. So biosolids that could come from anaerobic digestion could be used to create green spaces, and that has been shown in the literature to have a very positive effect on the mentality of various cities, even reducing crime rates. The environmental aspects could be water, land, and air quality improvements, reduce landfill, and harnessing methane emissions for a positive effect on climate. Then financial, adding additional revenue streams and also cost savings. The key drivers of anaerobic digestion technology tend to be regulatory, so I've already touched on land, air, and water for that. Policy, value potential for the utility, and also potential for performance improvements as well. This is a slide that is from a piece of research that I led with the Global Water Leaders Group recently, and I have included it here because I like to be reminded of the sheer breadth of potential byproducts from wastewater reuse. So the natural ones that we like to talk about are recycled water. So potable water is the end game. We would like to completely close that loop, and in some places it is being done. But then also non-potable, which can create revenues from the commercial sector, agricultural and industrial sectors. And then secondly, biogas, which is one of the main focuses of this presentation. So carbon offset within the utility, sale to the grid, that is if the water and power authorities are separate. And then other sale to the commercial sector as well. And later we'll see how a utility has sold its biogas to a bus company.